Good morning, dear students. Welcome to GCE Ordinary Level Citizenship Education by Sir Moses. Dear candidates, today we are going to focus on a particular topic. Guess what? Which topic are we talking about? We are talking about the topic painted in red, refugee crisis. That is our main focus today. So, what do you understand by the term refugee crisis? Refugee crisis or problem, take note, has been a preoccupying issue from time immemorial. This problem has attracted international attention as well as humanitarian body. Hence, who is a refugee? A refugee, right, is someone who has escaped from his or her country due to political unrest, religious persecution, socio-economic difficulties, or natural disaster. Now, take note that 35% of refugees in the world come from Africa. But the main focus is to define refugee crisis. What do you understand by refugee crisis? Refugee crisis refers to the inconvenience that results when persons leave their land to go and settle on other people's land due to circumstances beyond their control. This is the definition of refugee crisis. Now, causes of refugee crisis is our next subtopic. As the picture indicates here, right? When you look at the picture, what do you really like figure out in the picture, right? One thing that can figure out in the picture here is political unrest. Now, what do you understand by the word political unrest? Political unrest is defined as the sum of riots, general strike, and anti-government demonstration. That is as lawful or unlawful collective action aimed against the national political authority and not an entail any military violence. Good. When you look at this particular cause, when political unrest, oppression, bad government, dictatorship occurs, people are bound to move. Hence, it is one of the causes of refugee crisis. You have economic problems such as unemployment has forced some people to escape to other countries in search for what? Employment or jobs opportunities. As a picture identifier, you can see picture A of people who are migrating because of what? Jobs or search for jobs opportunity. You can see some other people who are striking because of what? Jobs, they're searching for what? Jobs opportunities. Hence, search for jobs opportunity influence people to migrate from one country to another. Hence, refugee crisis. You have civil wars has been a major contributing factor to refugee crisis. When we talk about civil war, right, it's a violent conflict between a state and one or more organized non-state actor in the state territory. Civil war or a violent conflict between a state and one or more organized non-state actors in the state territory. That is what civil war means. Now, when civil war occurred in a particular country or in a particular state, it forced some people to migrate from one area to another in search for peace. So civil war is one of the factors that causes what? Refugee crisis. You have ethnic conflict has been at the background of many refugee crises, especially in Africa. When we talk about ethnic conflict, what do you understand by the word ethnic conflict? It's a conflict between two or more contending ethnic groups. While the source of the ethnic may be political, social, economic, religious, the individual in conflict must especially fight for their ethnic group's position within the society. When such conflict occurs, It pushes people out of an area to another area in search for peace. Hence, ethnic conflict is one of the factors that provoke what refugee crisis. You have religious persecution or intolerance, like between Muslim and Christians, like in the Sudan terrorist attack, have always caused the displacement of people from their own countries, like Nigeria. Example, when this occurred, for example, in Sudan, right, divided the North and South, Christian and Muslim. You also have, when it occurred, many people left this particular country to another country because they wanted to be free from what? Religious persecution. The fact that they left this country to another country made it what to be called what? Refugee what? Crisis. You have natural disaster or catastrophe, such as flood, drought, pests, and diseases. Earthquake, volcanic eruption, and desertification have caused refugee crisis. When it occurs, many people are bound to leave these particular areas affected with such disaster to migrate to areas where disasters have never occurred, hence refugee crisis. You have military takes over or coup d'etat have led to refugee crisis as well. For example, when General Buhari overthrew President Shagari in 1983 in a coup d'etat in Nigeria, it let many people migrated from Nigeria to other parts of the country because they were in search for peace. Consequences of this refugee crisis, in fact, or result. Refugee crisis led to increased pressures on what facility like food, water, houses, land of the host country. That is the country who hosts this refugee, right? Pressure are increased on her in the domain of food, water. It also leads to congestion in towns and cities of the host country, resulting to an increase in crime wave. Some refugees may take weapons to the host country, leading to problem of insanity. It leads to low-level standard because most refugees are unemployed with limited accommodation and poor housing facility. It can push citizens of the host country to rebellion if they have similar problems. Refugee crisis can lead to malnutrition, spread of diseases, and death the population of the countries of origin of the refugee goes. Now, to tame yourself, right, or to test yourself, you have this revision question, GC ordinary level citizenship. Outline the causes and consequences of refugee crisis. Here was Sir Moses who presented you this lecture. You can get me through this number for ordinary level citizenship group 681-350328. Here comes the end of our class.